something in the sky caused mass panic. And first, we're going to show you that, and then we're going to take you into what the plan is to use magnetic field manipulation on our bodies. Because the other video we told you that the solar storms they were saying were now higher and magnetic to the form of where they could potentially take you out. Let's get into this report and then we'll tell you exactly what is going on here. In the sky in France, footage unleashed where you can find nowhere else of a weird object flexing, opening up and closing. This is close to the border of CERN. Reportedly in 2022 in some Latin American countries, something in the sky caused mass panic. And what was it?
No mames. No mames. No mames.
Oh my God.
Alright, so I found some really important detail. The magnetic field has opened up. There's been a huge crack in it. Now scientists are also saying they found some new magnetic waves being discovered sweeping across the Earth's outer core, right? And supposedly these things only show up after every 7 years. It's kind of like that supernatural island where it showed up after 7 years. And they don't really know what's going on, but we have so many new magnetics in the field that is affecting our bodies that we're going to get to that. And these artificial suns and the two suns being shown everywhere. We got another video clip. Let's go ahead and just pull that up here in a second. We're going to show you that in Arizona somewhere, the two suns were seen once again. Here it is, taking to the video clip. They seen the sunset in the left, but then they look to the right, and then they also seen the sunset in the right. And it just basically, we've been seeing a lot of this coming through this year, and it's been pretty much crazy. So what the heck is going on? The fields they were talking about that could affect us, I told you, had to do with the GMO and everything else that was put into the food supply chain. In my opinion, this is what it is because they said the magnetoprotein. But however, we got more information here about what's the bigger effect, and they literally admit to you what is the bigger effect. But yet then they tell you just recently, and let's check it out here. You go into it and it says what? About 40 million millitelsla, around 1,000 times stronger than the Earth's magnetic field. And guess who just recently came out and said they had that? You can take a guess. And we got the information for you. It was China who came out and said, well, we now have 45 Telsa magnetic 0.22 field, which is way over what's going to affect the bodies of humans. So the fact that they come out and admit this, and now they're saying, oh, well, it's going to be some solar storms that's probably going to take you out, probably going to kill you. The fact that they say that and then they don't admit what they're doing, it shows you and proves to you exactly what is going on. So this new magnetic wave of fields of technology is going to make us have to ramp up more on what we supply ourselves with in the way that we eat as well, because it is ways to defend yourself against these attacks. You just have to be able to prep your body. And you probably didn't know something else. These are some of the things you got to have, and you got to make sure it's not GMO, and obviously it's more clean, because this is what we need to have. And obviously I was telling you about the RF shielding. You can find that link. It'll be in the chat, because that's something I use to shield my body from the magnetic fields all the time. Highly important. They also pulsate your food though with pulse electric fields. And they do that because it's a form of preservative. So if they're hitting your food with pulse electric fields, and these are plans of the technocracy, the technocrats, and I go into it here. I don't think it says in the ever increasing demand for fresh and natural high quality products among the consumers drives food processors and technocrats to search for the adoption of advanced food processing and preservation techniques at industrial levels, which they've been doing this for a while now. But those effects are more lingering effects that are now starting to come out in newer studies, and that we have to actually be more aware of what's happening to the food that we're eating. So this is going to be a highly important moment in life for us all to make the decision not to just bow down in fear, but to stop bowing down to the system and stop complaining to the system. And then they had this other technology where they talk about magnets will keep your blood flowing. And they go in and say, yeah, if we use this and then we can modulate these magnetic fields, well, it just hit humans and stuff like that, and their blood will flow in these different ways and all this ridiculous stuff, basically. So I'm going to take you into this and let you read what they're saying. So I'm just telling you, this magnetic field stuff is basically going to get to the level to where, and I didn't even cut it out that good. You'll be able to read that. Probably pause the video and look at it. I'm just going to take you into the magnet that they have. And you get it because these magnets also are the artificial suns that they're putting up. And here's a picture of the one they had a long time ago, talking about how they're going to make it flow through your veins and all this different stuff. So we're moving into the sci-fi dystopia. And that calls for high levels of knowledge, high levels of people like yourself tuning in right now. And yes, the graphene and everything else. And yes, the stuff that people took, that we know that people took that I didn't take, and probably a lot of you didn't take. It all ties into the bigger picture here. So the fact that now the nano and everything else is all submerged into the grid, that's going to be a weapon. So it's going to be important to give our bodies exactly what we need and to feed that positive energy force into our body for our spirit to rise. No matter what's happening, it's always about the mindset, obviously our food supply, and then also shielding ourselves against these attacks. And so we've put highly dollar information here today for you all to basically get out, just let everybody receive this information, because when we do this, most of the time this is on the deaf's ear. This is not just content for us to just talk. This is about reality changing effects. And every single person that has spread those effects are a part of this grid line that is changing what's happening in the world right now. Because this is our big issue now, that we've become so divided and so fearful to be able to connect and then give others the knowledge, and to be so infighting, that this was the tactic to divide us and conquer us. And if you want to be divided and conquered, well, just let it fall on deaf ears. But if you don't, we have to take action towards what they don't want us to take action on. So this was a highly important report. Again, the article and link will be in the comment section. You can check that out and see what else you want to do on that level. Make sure you get the food you need to eat. And then there's other videos and also the description area. And if you didn't check out the other video, which was part 1 to this, where we talked about the first line of attacks, you definitely got to check that out. I'll have that video on the left hand side after this video is over. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all your